Hello, welcome to Nightlight Science Stories. Today, we are going to dismantle the most fundamental law you were taught in school. You believe that you are sitting in a chair right now because of force called gravity is pulling you down towards the center of the earth. You imagine an invisible string tethering you to the ground. But what if I told you that this string does not exist? What if I told you that gravity is not a force at all, but an illusion created by the shape of reality itself? For 300 years, we believed Isaac Newton. He gave us the math to predict the motion of planets and the fall of apples. But he made one critical mistake. He assumed space and time were a fixed stage, a passive background where events happened. He was wrong. In 1915, Albert Einstein revealed that the stage itself is alive. To understand why you are stuck to the floor, we must first understand why Newton's invisible string was a beautiful, but ultimately false, idea. The year is 1666. Isaac Newton is sitting in his garden in Woolsthorpe. He watches an apple fall. He asks a simple question: does the force that pulls the apple also pull the moon? He concluded that mass attracts mass. The earth pulls the apple. The sun pulls the earth. It was an elegant universe of invisible forces acting instantly across vast distances. It worked perfectly for building bridges and firing cannons. But there was a ghost in the machine that Newton could not explain. Newton famously wrote, "I have not yet been able to discover the cause of these properties of gravity." He knew how it worked, but not why. How does the Earth know the Sun is there across 93 million miles of empty vacuum? How does the pole travel instantly? For centuries, physics ignored this problem. We accepted action at a distance as magic because the math worked. Until a patent clerk in Bern started dreaming about falling off a roof without hitting the ground. Einstein had a problem with Newton's gravity. In his theory of special relativity, he proved that nothing travels faster than light, but Newton's gravity acted instantly. If the sun disappeared right now, Newton's math said Earth would fly out of orbit immediately. Einstein knew this was impossible. The signal that the sun was gone would take 8 minutes to travel at light speed. This contradiction kept him awake for years. Gravity had to obey the cosmic speed limit. He needed a new way to describe falling. He realized that a force couldn't just reach out and grab objects. Something else had to be pushing them. He began to suspect that objects weren't being pulled by anything. They were just following the path of least resistance through a twisted environment. Imagine a marble rolling in a bowl. No force pulls it to the center. The shape of the bowl directs it. Gravity is not the hand that pushes. It is the curvature of the road. This brings us to what Einstein called the happiest thought of my life. Imagine a man falling from the roof of a house. It sounds terrifying, but physics asks, what does he feel? Does he feel gravity? No. If he lets go of his keys, they float next to him. In free fall, gravity disappears. He is weightless. Einstein realized that if you can erase gravity just by falling, then perhaps gravity isn't a real force like electromagnetism. Perhaps it is just a frame of reference. This realization shattered Newton's universe. If a falling man feels no force, then maybe he isn't accelerating. Maybe he is the one at rest, and the ground is rushing up to meet him. This sounds insane to our human senses. We feel heavy when we stand still. But Einstein argued that our senses are lying. Standing on the ground is unnatural. Falling is the natural state of the universe. We are being prevented from falling by the floor, and that pressure is what we feel. To make this work, Einstein had to merge the three dimensions of space with the fourth dimension of time. He created a single fabric, spacetime. Newton thought space was flat and rigid like a wooden table. Einstein proposed that spacetime is like a rubber sheet. Massive objects like the Earth and Sun sit on the sheet and warp it. They create valleys and dips in the fabric. This was the shift from forces to geometry. The universe is not a machine. It is a shape. This explains the mystery of the apple. The Earth does not reach up and pull the apple down. The Earth curves the time and space around itself. The apple simply follows the straightest possible line through this curved environment. That line just happens to point towards the center of the Earth. The apple thinks it is moving in a straight line, but because the universe itself is bent, its path curves downward. It is a cosmic optical illusion on a grand scale. Apply this to the moon. Newton said an invisible rope swims the moon around Earth. Einstein said, no rope. The moon is trying to fly in a perfect straight line through empty space. But the Earth has dented the space around it so deeply that the straight line wraps around into a circle. The moon is falling forever into a valley that circles the Earth. It is trapped by the geometry of the void, not by the grip of the planet. It is rolling along the curve of time. This theory, General Relativity, did not just fix Newton's math. It rewrote reality. It implies that matter tells spacetime how to curve, and spacetime tells matter how to move. It is a cosmic dance, but the most disturbing part is not about planets. It is about you. Right now, you think you are sitting still. But according to this geometry, you are actually accelerating upwards at 9.8 meters per second squared. The ground is constantly crashing into your feet. Visualizing this is difficult because we are trapped in 3D. We usually picture a bowling ball on a trampoline. But space is 3D, so the dip is happening in every direction inward. It is a 4D well. Every second you exist, you are moving through time. The Earth's mass twists this time axis towards its center. Gravity is essentially the result of you moving forward in time, but being dragged downward in space. You are sliding down the slope of tomorrow. This geometric view solved the mystery of instantaneous action. It takes time for the fabric to ripple. If the sun vanished, the dent in space would uncrumple like a wave. This wave, a gravitational wave, would travel at exactly the speed of light. So Einstein fixed the conflict. Earth would orbit the ghost of the sun for 8 minutes before flying off. The invisible string was cut, replaced by the ripples of a flexible dynamic universe. This led to the equivalence principle. Imagine you are in a rocket in deep space, far from any planet. If the engines accelerate at 1 g, the floor pushes up against your feet. You feel weight. If you drop a pen, it falls to the floor. Inside the rocket, it feels exactly like standing on Earth. Einstein said this is not a coincidence. It is the exact same phenomenon. Being on Earth is identical to being in an accelerating spaceship. Gravity and acceleration are one. This means there is no gravitational field in the way we thought. There's only inertia and geometry. When you stand on a scale, it does not measure the pull of the Earth. It measures the force of the floor, stopping you from following your natural path. Your natural path is to fall to the center of the Earth. The floor gets in the way. Weight is simply the sensation of being interrupted. You are fighting the geometry of the universe just by standing up. If gravity is just curved space, then it shouldn't just affect heavy things like rocks. It should affect everything that travels through space, even light. Newton thought light traveled in straight lines and couldn't be pulled. Einstein predicted that if you look at a star behind the sun during an eclipse, the star's light would bend around the sun's gravity well. The star would appear in the wrong place. Light itself would surrender to geometry. This was the test that would prove him right or wrong. In 1919, astronomers watched a solar eclipse. They measured the position of the stars. They had shifted exactly as Einstein predicted. The headlines read, "Lights all askew in the heavens." It was the moment humanity realized Newton was wrong. Space was not empty. It was a lens. We were looking at the universe through a funhouse mirror, warped by the mass of stars and galaxies. We have dismantled the invisible string. We now know that space is a flexible fabric and gravity is the curvature of that fabric. But this was only the beginning. If mass curves space and space is connected to time, then mass must also curve time. This means that time does not flow at the same speed for everyone. Your feet are aging slower than your head. The stronger the gravity, the slower the clock. This is not science fiction. It is measurable fact. Einstein's geometry leads us to a terrifying conclusion. Time is personal. There is no universal clock ticking for the cosmos. If mass warps the fabric of reality, it must warp the flow of moments as well. This implies that your head and your feet exist in slightly different time zones. The stronger the gravity, the slower the clock. We are not just navigating a curved map of space. We are navigating a distorted map of time itself. This distortion of time is not just a mathematical curiosity. It is a measurable physical fact. In 2010, researchers at NIST placed two ultra-precise atomic clocks just 33 centimeters apart vertically. The lower clock, sitting slightly deeper in Earth's gravity, ticks slower than the higher one. It confirmed that gravity is literally dragging the flow of time. You are not living in a synchronized reality with your own ceiling. You are effectively a time traveler, with different parts of your body moving through the fourth dimension at slightly different speeds. The difference is measured in nanoseconds over a lifetime, but the principle is absolute. The stronger the gravitational field, the slower the clock ticks. If you stand up, your head is aging faster than your feet because it is farther from the mass of them, Earth. You are a biological being stretched across time. You might think this is just theoretical physics, but your phone relies on it every day. The Global Positioning System, GPS, consists of satellites orbiting 20,000 kilometers above Earth. Because they are far away from Earth's gravity, time runs faster for them, about 45 microseconds per day, faster than clocks on the ground. If engineers did not program Einstein's equations into the satellites, the system would fail within minutes. Without correcting for relativity, your GPS navigation would drift by about 10 kilometers every single day. The entire modern world, banking, aviation, military, transport, depends on the fact that Einstein was right about gravity warping time. We are literally patching our technology to account for the curvature of spacetime. Every time you check Google Maps, you are holding a device that communicates with machines living in a faster future. But exactly why does gravity slow time? Think of it in terms of energy. Light and information have to climb out of the gravity well to reach space. As they climb against the curvature of Earth, they lose energy. For a photon, losing energy means changing color to red or vibrating more slowly. Since time is essentially the measurement of vibration or change, the frequency of reality itself drops. The deeper the well, the slower the beat. This creates a strange paradox regarding your location. If you lived in the basement of a skyscraper, you would technically live slightly longer than your twin living in the penthouse. The gravity is stronger at the bottom, so your personal clock ticks slower relative to the universe. You are preserved by the mass of the Earth. It is a negligible amount for us, but if you take this principle to the extreme, near a massive object, reality breaks. Imagine orbiting a black hole, an object with gravity millions of times stronger than Earth. The interstellar scenario of 1 hour equaling 7 years is not science fiction. It is the strict mathematical result of general relativity. Near the event horizon, the curvature of space is so steep that time nearly grinds to a halt. To an outside observer, you would appear frozen, preserved in amber, while the rest of the universe ages and dies. Inside the ship, however, everything feels normal. You check your watch, your heart beats at the same rhythm, and you drink your coffee. You do not feel slow. This is the most disturbing part of relativity. Time is local. There is no master clock on the wall of the universe to tell you who is right. The universe that you left behind is speeding forward into the future, while you are trapped in a bubble of slow time, waiting for a future that will never come. This leads to the famous twin paradox. If one twin stays on Earth and the other travels to a high-gravity environment or accelerates to high speeds, they will meet again as different ages. The traveler has taken a shortcut through time. This means that gravity is essentially a time machine that only goes forward. By hanging out near a massive object, you can travel to the Earth's distant future in what feels like a few days to you. We are all doing this all the time, just in tiny amounts. The Earth's core is estimated to be about 2.5 years younger than the Earth's crust, purely because of the time dilation caused by the immense pressure and gravity at the center. The planet itself is not one age. It is a layered onion of different timelines. We are walking on a surface that is technically older than the ground beneath our feet. To visualize this, we must look at geometry again. In physics, we map a light cone to show your future paths. In empty space, your future points up, forward in time. But near a massive object, gravity tilts your light cone towards the mass. Space and time literally swap roles. Moving forward in time becomes moving down in space. This is why you cannot escape a black hole. The direction out no longer exists in your future. This tilting of time is what creates the force we feel. Remember, you are always moving through time at the speed of light. When Earth tilts your timeline, that speed gets redirected into spatial motion. You fall because your future has been bent towards the floor. It is not a choice. It is a geometric destiny. You are crashing into the Earth because tomorrow lies in that direction. We are passengers on a ride we cannot steer. The implications for our understanding of reality are profound. If time is elastic, then now is an illusion. What is happening right now on a distant galaxy depends entirely on how you are moving and how much gravity is around you. Two observers can disagree on the order of events, and both would be correct. The universe does not have a shared history. It is a collection of individual threads, weaving together, but never quite matching. This destroys the idea of a rigid clockwork universe. Before Einstein, we thought space was the stage and time was the clock on the wall. Now we know the stage is warping and the clock is melting. Gravity is the heat that melts the clock. It is the connection between the stuff the universe is made of, matter, and the rules the universe plays by, time. We are not just in the universe. We are warping it with our presence. Every atom in your body is a tiny clock. Electrons orbit nuclei at specific frequencies. When you stand near a massive object, those frequencies drop. The hum of your existence lowers in pitch. This is why we say gravity is a redshift. It shifts the music of life to a lower octave. You are literally vibrating slower than someone floating in deep space. You are a lower energy version of yourself simply because you are standing on a planet. This leads us to question the nature of the force we feel. If gravity is just the bending of time and space, why does it hurt when we fall? Why does it feel so physical? The answer lies in the conflict between your natural path and the solid ground. You are trying to follow the curve of time, but the floor is in the way. The floor is accelerating upwards, smashing into you, preventing you from following your destiny. This brings us back to the equivalence principle. The feeling of weight you have right now is identical to the feeling of being in a rocket, accelerating at 1g. Einstein said this is not a metaphor, it is literal. The surface of the Earth is an accelerating frame of reference. By standing still, you are constantly being pushed off your natural geodesic path. You are not static. You are being forcibly diverted from your timeline. We usually think of acceleration as changing speed, like a car going faster. But in 4D spacetime, simply changing direction is acceleration. The Earth is constantly pushing you up away from the center, forcing you to deviate from the straight line you want to follow. This constant push is what you call weight. You are not heavy. You are just being intercepted. The ground is the aggressor in this relationship. So we must flip our perspective entirely. You are not being pulled down by a mysterious force. You are trying to float, trying to follow the curved geometry of the universe, but the chair is shoving you upwards. Gravity is not the force. The normal force of the chair is the only real force acting on you. We have spent our lives believing in a downward pull, when the reality is an upward push. This realization changes everything about how we perceive our daily lives. We are not anchored to a rock. We are riding the surface of a rapidly expanding bubble in space-time. But if we are constantly accelerating, where is the energy coming from? And what happens when this geometry becomes so extreme that space itself collapses? To understand the end of the line, we must look at the ultimate drain of the universe. To understand why the chair pushes you up, we must look at the fabric of the universe itself. Einstein merged the 3 dimensions of space and the 1 dimension of time into a single 4-dimensional entity called spacetime. This is not just a mathematical trick. It is the canvas upon which reality is painted. You cannot exist in space without existing in time. They are woven together like the threads of a blanket, inseparable and dynamic. Newton imagined space as a rigid stage that never changed. Einstein showed us that the stage is flexible. It can stretch, twist, and bend. Massive objects like stars and planets act like bowling balls placed on a trampoline, creating dips and curves in the fabric. But here is the critical part that most people miss. The Earth does not just curve space, it curves time. In fact, for slow-moving objects like us, the curvature of time is far more important. Consider an apple falling from a tree. It starts at rest and accelerates towards the ground. Why? If you only look at the curvature of space, the effect is tiny. The Earth's mass is not enough to bend space significantly. If gravity depended only on spatial curvature, the apple would barely move. The reason it falls so fast is that it is traveling through time at the speed of light. The time component of the curvature is what drives the motion. The apple is moving forward in time at a massive speed, c. The Earth's mass twists the time axis towards the center of the planet. So the apple thinks it is moving in a straight line through the future, but that straight line has been bent downwards by the Earth. It is sliding down the slope of time. The fall is not a pull. It is the apple's natural path through the fourth dimension being redirected towards the ground. In physics, this straight path through curved spacetime is called a geodesic. A geodesic is the shortest distance between 2 points on a curved surface. On a flat piece of paper, the shortest path is a straight line. On the curved surface of the Earth, the shortest path between London and New York is a curve. In the 4D universe, objects always follow their geodesics unless a force acts on them. The apple is just following its geodesic. This is the heart of general relativity. Matter tells spacetime how to curve, and spacetime tells matter how to move. It is a cosmic feedback loop. The Earth tells the space around it to shape itself into a valley. The apple, entering this valley, has no choice but to roll towards the center. It is not obeying a command, it is obeying the landscape. Gravity is simply the geometry of the environment, dictating the destiny of the object. This geometric rule applies to everything, from apples to planets. The Earth is not tethered to the sun by an invisible rope. The Earth is trying to fly in a straight line through the void. But the massive weight of the sun has created a deep bowl in the fabric of the solar system. The Earth is moving so fast that it gets trapped on the rim of this bowl, circling forever like a coin in a funnel. It is falling around the sun, but never hitting it. If the sun were to suddenly disappear, the bow would flatten out, but it wouldn't happen instantly. The unbending of space would ripple outwards at the speed of light. For 8 minutes, Earth would continue to orbit the ghost of the sun, unaware that the central mass was gone. We would be orbiting a memory. This proves that gravity is a property of space itself, not a direct connection between two objects. The fabric carries the message. These ripples are called gravitational waves. Einstein predicted them in 1916, but he thought they would be too small to ever detect. He was wrong. In 2015, humanity built a detector sensitive enough to hear the universe ringing. We detected the collision of two black holes over 1 billion light-years away. The shock wave of that collision stretched and squeezed the Earth itself by a fraction of the width of a proton. Space is not empty. It is a trembling jelly. The detection of these waves was the final proof that spacetime is a physical substance. It can vibrate, it can carry energy, and it can be measured. When you wave your hand, you are creating tiny gravitational waves that ripple out into the cosmos forever. You are changing the shape of the universe with every movement. You are a massive object, however small, and you bend the canvas of reality just by existing. Another way to visualize this is the river model. Imagine space itself is flowing like a river towards massive objects. The Earth is like a drain, sucking space into it. Objects fall because they are caught in this current. A satellite orbits because it is swimming upstream, sideways, at the exact speed the river is flowing inwards. It stays in the same place relative to the Earth, suspended in a dynamic balance between its speed and the flow of space. This river of space accelerates as it gets closer to the planet. This explains why gravity gets stronger as you get closer to the surface. The current is faster. At the event horizon of a black hole, the river of space flows inwards at the speed of light. This is why light cannot escape. It is trying to swim upstream against a current that is moving faster than its maximum possible swimming speed. It is swept down into the darkness. So if gravity is just geometry or a flowing river, what is weight? Weight is the resistance to this flow. When you jump off a diving board, for a brief second, you are weightless. You are surrendering to the flow. You are following your natural geodesic. In that moment of free fall, you are in perfect harmony with the universe. You are doing exactly what spacetime wants you to do. You are not fighting the geometry. Then you hit the water or the ground. The sensation of impact is the universe saying, "Stop." The ground prevents you from following your timeline. The structural integrity of the planet pushes back against the curvature of spacetime. Your weight is a measure of this conflict. It is the amount of force required to stop you from going where the universe is trying to take you. We live our lives in a constant state of resistance. It is important to emphasize how much of this is due to time. On Earth, the curvature of space is very slight. The geometry of the room you are in is almost perfectly Euclidean, flat. But the curvature of time is that diversion is what slams you into the floor. If you could stop moving through time, gravity would affect you much less. But you cannot stop. You are forced forward into the future. And because the Earth warps that future, you are forced downwards. Gravity is the consequence of being a temporal traveler in a spatially curved world. It is the tax we pay for having a mass in a universe that is shaped by mass. We are caught in the geometry of our own existence. This realization removes the spooky action at a distance that troubled Newton. There is no magic force reaching out. There is only the local environment. The apple only knows about the space right next to it. It moves 1 inch, checks the curvature, and adjusts its path. It moves another inch, checks again. It is a purely local phenomenon. Gravity is the result of objects exploring the texture of reality, moment by moment. We are like ants walking on a crumpled sheet. We think we are being pulled by invisible magnets, but we are simply navigating the hills and valleys of the fabric. The pull is an illusion of perspective. There is no down, there is no up. There is only towards the mass and away from the mass. There is only the curve. And this curve can get much steeper than anything we experience on Earth. On Earth, the curvature is gentle. We can build bridges and skyscrapers that resist it. But the universe has places where the geometry becomes so extreme that resistance is impossible. Places where the river of space flows faster than light. Places where the curvature of time becomes a loop. Places where the math of general relativity produces a divide by zero error. We are leaving the safe harbor of our planet. We have understood the mechanism of the curve. Now we must look at what happens when that curve breaks. What happens when you squeeze the mass of the sun into the size of a city? You get a ghost star, a zombie star, an object where the illusion of gravity becomes the only reality that matters. Let's conduct a thought experiment that Einstein used to shatter our perception of reality. Imagine you are in a windowless room. You feel a force pressing your feet to the floor. If you drop a ball, it falls. You would naturally assume you are on Earth, being pulled down by gravity. But Einstein asked, is there any other way to create this exact same experience? The answer is yes. You could be in a rocket in deep space, accelerating upwards at 9.8 meters per second squared. If the rocket engine is pushing the floor up into your feet with that specific force, the physics inside the room identical. The ball doesn't fall. The floor rushes up to meet it. Einstein realized that if you cannot tell the difference between gravity and acceleration, then they must be the same thing. This is the equivalence principle. It means that standing on the surface of the Earth is not a static state. It is a state of constant, relentless acceleration. This sounds impossible. You look around and the room is not moving. The trees are not flying away. How can you be accelerating if you aren't going anywhere? This is where our intuition fails us. In Newtonian physics, acceleration means change of speed. But in Einstein's curved spacetime, acceleration means deviation from a geodesic. A geodesic is the natural path of an object in free fall. By standing still, you are deviating from your natural path. Think of it this way. The natural state of any object in the universe is to fall. Falling is relaxation. Falling is surrendering to the geometry of space-time. When you stand on the ground, you are forcing your body to disobey the curvature of the universe. The ground is a physical barrier that intercepts you. The pressure you feel on your solace is not gravity pulling you down. It is the Earth pushing you up, away from your natural destiny. You are basically an astronaut in a rocket that never runs out of fuel. The Earth is the engine. Every second of every day, the solid matter of the planet is thrusting you upwards, preventing you from following the curved path into the core. This is why standing up makes you tired. You are physically fighting against the shape of space-time. You are under constant G-force load. We call it weight, but a better name would be thrust. If the ground suddenly vanished, you would not fall. You would simply stop accelerating. You would return to your natural state of weightlessness. The terror of falling is actually the relief of physics. The violence happens when you hit the ground again, when the acceleration resumes abruptly. It is the sudden return to the unnatural state of being supported that causes injury. The fall is safe. The stop is what hurts. We can prove this with the device in your pocket. Your smartphone has an accelerometer. If you put it on a table, it reads 1G, 9.8 meters per second squared. It detects that it is being pushed. But if you throw your phone off a building, don't actually do this. The moment it leaves your hand, the reading drops to OG. It detects zero gravity. Why? Because while falling, it is no longer being pushed by the Earth. It has returned to its natural inertial path. This confirms that gravity disappears the moment you remove the floor. A force that vanishes when you stop resisting. It is not a force in the traditional sense. It is a reaction. The accelerometer on the table reads 1G because the table is accelerating the phone upwards. The sensor is detecting the mechanical stress of being forced to deviate from a free fall trajectory. The numbers do not lie. The force comes from below, not above. But here is the headache-inducing question. If the surface of the Earth is constantly accelerating outwards, why doesn't the Earth get bigger? Why doesn't it expand like a balloon? The answer lies in 4D geometry. We are accelerating through space-time, not just Euclidean space. You can have acceleration without change of size if the space itself is flowing inwards. Imagine running up a down escalator. You are sprinting, accelerating, but you stay in the same place. The river of space we discussed earlier is flowing towards the core. The ground is moving upwards through this flow, just fast enough to stay at a constant radius. You are running on a cosmic treadmill. The acceleration is real, you feel it, your phone measures it, but the spatial expansion is cancelled out by the curvature. It is a dynamic equilibrium. You are running as fast as you can just to stay still. This completely inverts our language. We usually say, "I am sitting still, and the skydiver is accelerating," Einstein says. No, the skydiver is at rest, following the curve. The person in the chair is accelerating. We are the ones who are moving. We are the ones underpowered. The skydiver is the only one who is truly relaxing. Our entire definition of motion is backwards because we evolved on the surface of the treadmill. This is why astronauts feel sick when they return to Earth. Their inner ear, which detects acceleration, suddenly screams that they are moving upwards. They feel heavy, sluggish, and dizzy. Their bodies have forgotten the constant upward thrust of the planet. They have to relearn how to tolerate the G-force of simply standing in a kitchen. Gravity is an addiction we don't notice until we quit it. This constant acceleration has shaped our biology. Our bones are calcified pillars designed to resist this specific upward thrust. Our heart is a pump calibrated to push blood against this G-force. We are creatures of the curve. If we were born on a smaller planet like Mars, with less curvature and thus less upward acceleration, we would be tall and spindly. On a massive super-Earth, we would be short and thick, built to withstand the intense thrust of the ground. We are the shape of our gravity. We are molded by the geometry of the Earth. Every time you lift your arm, you are fighting the curvature of space-time. Every time you drop a cup, you are watching the universe try to correct an error. The cup wants to be at the center of the Earth. You forced it to be on the table. When it slips, it is simply trying to go home. It is trying to return to the geodesic. This perspective shift also explains the tides. The moon does not pull the water. The moon curves the path of the ocean. The water on the side facing the moon wants to follow a path that curves towards the moon. The Earth, being solid, cannot follow that path as easily. The water falls towards the moon, bulging out while the Earth slides beneath it. It is a dance of falling, not pulling. The ocean is simply finding its level in a curved universe. It is sloshing around in the gravitational bowl created by the moon and sun. And we, standing on the shore, watch the water rise and fall, attributing it to a ghostly force. But it is just geometry. It is the liquid surface of the planet trying to obey the complex instructions of the warped space-time it inhabits. So tonight, when you lie in bed, try to feel it. Do not imagine gravity pulling you down into the mattress. Imagine the mattress pushing you up. Feel the engine of the Earth humming beneath you, thrusting you towards the sky, accelerating you through the dark fabric of time. You are not static. You are a passenger on a spaceship that is constantly turning, constantly pushing, constantly fighting the void. It is a terrifying and beautiful thought. We are never truly at rest. Rest is a luxury reserved for the falling. As long as our feet touch the ground, we are in a state of conflict with the universe. We are forcing our way through a geometry that wants us to fall. And this conflict is what we call life. We have explored the illusion of the force. We have felt the acceleration of the ground. But what happens when this acceleration becomes infinite? What happens when the curvature becomes so steep that the upward push required to stay still exceeds the speed of light? The geometry of Earth is gentle, but there are places in the universe where the geometry becomes a prison. We are now approaching the event horizon, the point of no return, the place where the illusion of gravity becomes the ultimate trap. In this domain, geometry does not just dictate your path, it dictates your end. We must now look at the black hole, not as a monster, but as the final triumph of curved space over time. In our solar system, gravity is a gentle slope. But when a massive star dies, it collapses under its own weight, creating a puncture in the fabric of space-time. This is a black hole. It is not a cosmic vacuum cleaner that sucks things in. It is simply a place where the curvature of the universe becomes infinite. It is a region where the geometry of reality folds in on itself so tightly that the concept of direction ceases to have any meaning. Imagine the rubber sheet analogy again. A planet makes a dip. A black hole makes a bottomless pit. If you walk towards it, you are not being pulled by a force. You are simply walking on a floor that is tilting steeper and steeper. Eventually, the slope becomes vertical. At this point, there is no up anymore. There is only down. The geometry has removed the option of return. You are falling into a hole in the map of existence itself. This brings us to the event horizon. This is the point of no return. In the river of space model, this is the exact line where the space flowing into the hole reaches the speed of light. Outside this line, you can swim upstream, rocket away, faster than the flow. But once you cross the line, the space carrying you is moving faster than light speed. Since nothing can travel faster than light through space, no signal can ever climb back out. It is a waterfall of geometry. Light tries to fly outwards, but it is swept backwards like a swimmer in a raging current. To an outside observer, the light appears to freeze at the edge, turning dimmer and rudder until it fades to nothing. But for you, falling in, there is no barrier. You drift across the horizon without hitting a wall. You have simply crossed from a universe where escape is possible to a universe where the future points only inwards. Inside the horizon, something terrifying happens to the coordinates of reality. In our world, you can move freely through space, XYZ, but you are forced to move forward in time, T. Inside a black hole, these roles swap. The radial direction towards the center becomes your time. The singularity is no longer a place in the center. It becomes a moment in your future. Trying to avoid the singularity is like trying to avoid next Tuesday. This explains why you cannot escape. You cannot turn around and go back to the horizon for the same reason you cannot turn around and go back to yesterday. The geometry has rotated your destiny. All possible futures lead to the center. Firing your rockets away from the center only shortens the path, making you hit the singularity faster. You are not falling through space anymore. You are falling through the end of time. Before you cross the horizon, you might pass through the photon sphere. This is a region where gravity is so strong that light itself orbits the black hole. If you hovered here, you would see the back of your own head. The light reflecting off your back would circle the black hole and hit you in the face. You would be standing in a hall of mirrors created by gravity, seeing the entire history of the universe compressed into a thin ring of fire. This is the ultimate optical illusion. The gravity is so intense that it acts as a lens for the entire cosmos. You would see stars that are actually behind the black hole, warped and stretched around its shadow. You are looking at the universe through a fisheye lens of extreme mass. It is a place where vision becomes circular, and the sky wraps around you like a blanket. It is the last thing you see before the dark. As you fall deeper, you encounter spaghettification. This is caused by the difference in gravity between your head and your feet. On Earth, this difference is tiny. Near a black hole, the gradient is extreme. The pull on your feet is millions of times stronger than the pull on your head. You are stretched vertically into a long, thin noodle of atoms. Simultaneously, you are crushed horizontally. You become a stream of plasma. This is not a biological death. It is a geometric dismantling. The fabric of space you occupy is being stretched, and your body is simply being pulled along with it. Your atoms are lined up single file to enter the eye of the needle. It is the violent unraveling of complexity. The black hole does not care about biology. It only cares about mass. You are being converted from a person into raw information. At the bottom of the pit lies the singularity. This is where Einstein's equations crash. The math gives us infinite density and zero volume in physics. Infinite usually means we don't know. It is a point where the curvature is so sharp that space and time cease to exist. It is the edge of the map. Some theories suggest it is a breakdown of the pixel size of the universe, the Planck length. Is it a solid object, a portal, a knot in space-time? General Relativity cannot tell us. It predicts its own demise at this point. We need a theory of quantum gravity to see further, but we don't have one yet. For now, the singularity remains the great unknown, the here-be-dragons of modern science. It is the place where the geometry we have been discussing collapses into something else entirely. There is a final paradox. To your friend watching from a safe distance, you never actually fall in. Due to time dilation, they see you slow down as you approach the horizon. Your image becomes redder and dimmer, freezing just before the edge. To the outside universe, you are plastered onto the surface of the black hole forever, a ghost that never fades. You are immortalized as a holographic imprint on the event horizon. But from your perspective, you cross the horizon instantly. You see the universe behind you speed up, potentially watching eons pass in seconds. You experience the fall, the spaghettification, and the singularity in finite time. Both realities are true. You are frozen forever on the shell, and you are destroyed in the center. The universe has split your timeline into two contradictory truths. Gravity has broken the narrative. This leads to the holographic principle. Some physicists believe that when you fall in, the information about you, your mass, spin, charge, is stored on the 2D surface of the event horizon. The 3D you is gone, but the 2D data remains. This suggests that perhaps our entire universe is a hologram, a 3D projection of 2D information painted on a distant cosmological horizon. The black hole might be a mirror of our own reality. If this is true, then gravity is not just the geometry of space. It is the geometry of information. It is the algorithm that projects depth onto a flat screen. The illusion of gravity might be a side effect of this projection. We feel heavy because we are holographic data being processed. We are pixels feeling the heat of the processor. The black hole is simply where the hard drive is visible. The math of general relativity also allows for the reverse. A white hole, a region of space that you cannot enter, only leave. Some speculate that the singularity connects to a white hole in another universe, or perhaps in our own past. The matter crushed in the black hole might be spewed out somewhere else, creating a new Big Bang. The drain might actually be a faucet for a new reality. If this is the case, then gravity is the engine of creation. It crushes the old to build the new. The ultimate destruction of the black hole is just the recycling mechanism of the multiverse. The falling apple, the orbiting moon, and the dying star are all part of a cycle of geometric breathing. Space contracts, time ends, and perhaps, somewhere else, time begins again. We have journeyed from the apple in Newton's garden to the edge of the singularity. We have seen that the force holding you to your chair is the same geometry that rips stars apart. It is all connected. The curve of the leaf falling from a tree and the curve of light around a black hole are drawn by the same hand. That hand is not a god. It is the shape of space-time itself. We have dismantled the lie of the invisible string. We have accepted the truth of the acceleration. But what does this mean for us? For the human being trapped in this 4D sculpture? In our final chapter, we will return to Earth to understand the philosophical way of this theory. What does it mean to live in a universe where time is not shared and falling is the only freedom? We end our journey where we began, on the surface of the Earth, feeling the weight of existence. But now you know the truth. That weight is not a burden placed upon you by the universe. It is the sensation of being intercepted. The universe wants you to move. It wants you to follow the curve of time into the center of the world. By standing still, you are engaging in an act of cosmic defiance. You are fighting the geometry of destiny with every breath. This reframes our entire relationship with the ground beneath our feet. We usually see the ground as our foundation, our safety, our home. But in the eyes of General Relativity, the ground is an obstacle. It is a barrier that prevents us from following our natural path. We are like birds trying to fly through a glass window. The glass is the floor. The force we feel is the impact of that collision, happening continuously, forever. There is a philosophical beauty in this. Physics tells us that free fall is the only state where a human is truly at rest. When you fall, you feel no weight. You feel no force. You are perfectly aligned with the curvature of space-time. In a way, falling is the ultimate freedom. It is the only moment when you are not fighting the universe. You are simply letting the river of space carry you where it wants to go. But we are creatures of the earth, not the sky. We crave stability, even if it means constant acceleration. We build houses, cities, and lives on this accelerating surface because we are terrified of the fall. We trade the freedom of the geodesic for the security of the collision. We choose to be heavy. We choose to be anchored. We choose to feel the constant push of the planet rather than the weightless drift of the void. Einstein showed us that we are not separate from the universe. We are not actors on a stage. We are distortions in the fabric of the stage itself. Your mass curves the space around you. You are pulling the earth towards you just as much as it is pushing you up. It is a relationship of mutual shaping. You are bending the history of the cosmos just by existing in it. You are a local gravity well, a tiny knot in the great tapestry. This means you are never truly alone. To have mass is to be connected to everything else that has mass. The gravity of a distant star tugs on you, and you tug back. The web of space-time connects every atom in your body to every black hole in the galaxy. We are all caught in the same net. The geometry that crushes stars is the same geometry that keeps your coffee in its cup. It is one single, unified shape. Newton gave us a universe of clockwork and isolated forces. It was a lonely place where objects acted on each other from a distance. Einstein gave us a universe of contact and connection. A universe where space is a medium that touches us, holds us, and guides us. He removed the magic and replaced it with geometry. He showed us that the why of gravity is simply the shape of the where and the when. This shift from force to geometry changes how we see fate. In a Newtonian world, you can be pushed off course. In an Einsteinian world, the course is the space. You are following tracks laid down by the mass around you. Is there free will in a universe where the future is already curved? Or are we just marbles rolling down a bowl that was shaped billions of years ago by the arrangement of the stars? And then there is the matter of time. The time thief. We now know that there is no universal clock. My now is not your now. By standing up, I am aging faster than when I sit down. We are all drifting through time at different rates, separated by the invisible valleys of gravity. The universe does not march to a single beat. It is a chaotic symphony of billions of independent tempos, all struggling to stay in sync. This makes the moment we share right now incredibly precious. For two people to meet in the same place in the same time, despite all the warping and stretching of reality, is a cosmic miracle. We are constantly syncing our clocks, constantly adjusting our perceptions, trying to find a shared reality in a relativistic world. Connection is an act of defiance against the time dilation that tries to drift us apart. Some physicists argue that if time is just a dimension like space, then the past, present, and future all exist simultaneously. This is the block universe theory. The dinosaur is still alive in the past. The sun has already died in the future. We are just a spotlight moving through the block. If gravity curves this block, it means the shape of your life is already cast in the glass of eternity. Gravity is the texture of this glass. It is the bumps and ridges that make the ride interesting. Without gravity, the universe would be a flat, boring void. No stars would form, no planets would orbit, no life would exist. The distortion is what allows for complexity. We are the children of the curve. We exist only because the universe is not perfect. We exist because it is bent. So gravity is a lie, but it is a lie that makes life possible. It is the illusion that gathers gas into stars, dust into planets, and humans into societies. It is the fake force that creates real warmth. We may be accelerating upwards on a treadmill to nowhere, but at least we are doing it together. We are all stuck to the same rock, hurtling through the dark, pushed by the same geometry. We have dismantled the invisible string. We have seen the warping of time. We have stared into the black hole. And we have returned to our chairs, a little wiser, a little heavier. The next time you drop something, don't think of it as falling. Think of it as the universe trying to correct itself. Think of it as a momentary return to the natural order of things. As we close this chapter on the geometry of destiny, remember, you are not heavy. You are just being interrupted. The universe wants you to fly. The ground is the only thing stopping you. Gravity is not a cage. It is the shape of the sky. And you are a pilot navigating the invisible currents of space-time, whether you realize it or not. Tonight, feel the acceleration. Feel the thrust of the Earth. And know that in a relativistic universe, standing still is the hardest work you will ever do. You are an engine of resistance. You are a rider of the curve. You are a traveler in the fourth dimension. Thank you for watching Gravity is a Lie. If this journey through the geometry of spacetime has shifted your perspective, please subscribe to Nightlight Science Stories. We have many more illusions to shatter. The universe is stranger than we can imagine, and we are just scratching the surface of the dark. Leave a comment below. Does knowing that you are accelerating upwards make you feel more tired? Or do you still believe in the invisible string? Let's discuss the nature of reality in the comments. Until next time, keep questioning the ground beneath your feet.